Igor Shesterkin, Connor Hellebuck, and Jake Onger for me are like 1A. After that, it's a 1B tier. I don't have to go all out to get a goalie early. If those three are on the board in my first 2 rounds, I'm leaving with one. And ideally, if I can get my hands on two, like I'm set here. I'm set.
All right.
Generational wealth.
We are 40 seconds away from the draft kicking off. Just its usual ESPN mock rules there. A bunch of forwards, 5 defensemen, a utility, 2 goalies, and 5 bench spots. We did do a 10-team league as opposed to 12 to cut down on the number of picks, so we're not going into pick number 238. Don't need to necessarily go that deep all the time, but hey, it was the first mock draft of the season. We wanted to go through as many players as we could here. But yeah, we're about to kick things off here. I'll get that up on the screen. Summer mock draft number 2. We'll be doing these for you once a week here on Total Hockey Now. Please give us a rate, review, subscribe, follow on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook for that matter, where you can find our content. But we're always live here on YouTube. That's for sure. Every Tuesday, 5 o'clock. I always forget to throw the audio on these things. So let's see here. We went through our picks pretty quickly.
Wow, Nathan McKinnon was the first pick, so I mean that makes everything easier for me.
I mean, I gotta say,
David.
Yeah, I mean Nathan McKinnon, I understand, but I mean that's a little bit of a bold pick there to take him first. But hey, you know McDavid is always a top 2. David Pastrnak going there to New York Stevelanders at 3. Andy's awesome team. He takes Draisaitl 4th. Vinny's spirited team on the clock now. He's going 5th, right before me here. So. I like my options that are available to me because I'm going to either get Austin Matthews or Mikko Rantanen, which if we were doing a mock draft where there's actual center, left wing, right wing, Rantanen at right wing is, the creme de la creme up there along with Pastrnak. So, you get one of those 2 guys. Vinny taking his time here with this pick. Let's see what he does. So far the draft, those are the 3 of the 4 guys you would expect to go. And there goes Austin Matthews. Didn't really had much to think about there. Listen, I know Nikita Kucherov had a fantastic season last year, but how many times can that guy throw his team on the back? I'm going to go with the 51 goal scorer for projections this year, Mr. Mikko Rantanen, with my first pick at forward. And then right after me, we have Nikita Kucherov, a no-brainer there, and Brady Tkachuk, who you expected to go. Fuzzy Chris 91 on the clock. Now, we do know his love of defensemen. He didn't really go crazy last week with going early. Roman Josi sitting right there is the question. What will he
do? New week, same story, man. I need somebody to score goals, so it's gonna be Kirill. Welcome to the squad, buddy.
Don't mind that at all there. And then at 10, we had the auto pick there for Matthew Tkachuk. Certainly not a bad way to go. And then Chris back on the clock.
Now I will take a defenseman because last week I got him sniped because we were in a 12-team league. Welcome in, Cale Makar.
And I did not mean to go over your Connor McDavid pick, Ant, but I mean, there's really not much to say there. McDavid's sitting on the board at number 2. You just, you hit select and you move on. So I'm back on the clock here. I'm tempted to look. And remember, we know the goalie cheat here because goalies go late in these ESPN mocks. So try to keep it honest. Listen, I'm going to take Sidney Crosby here as a last go-around. I mean, until he's one of those guys where until he doesn't produce, you have to assume he's going to just put the same numbers up every year. Maybe a very slight decline, but still not a bad way to go. Pick 5, round 2. I got Rantanen and Crosby as my 2 forwards. Now let's see here. Artemi Panarin goes right after me to Vincent Spirited team. JT Miller there to Andy's awesome team. And there goes Rasmus Dahlin, the New York Stevelanders. So, yeah, the defenseman getting moved there. Round 3 about to begin once Anthony makes his pick. The other Anthony.
Some of you are listening, and that's good. Please use your handle so I can make sure I avoid you in like best ball drafts because you guys are starting to catch on what I want to do, and that makes my job harder to win money. And I need money because I have a dog.
Now Anthony does a good job there getting Hellebuck. Taking what's considered to be a top overall goalie. Or one of them. We had him at number 2 in our fantasy rankings. You could go back and watch those a few minutes ago. We'll have that clip out later this week as well. Let's see. So I'm on the clock in 3 picks. Quinn Hughes goes. Was kind of hoping he might be there. And now because we have more actual people in this draft, you're starting to see smarter picks happen. Like Quinn Hughes is never available in round 5 or 6, but in this, when you have too many auto picks, sometimes that happens.
That's why I had to take him.
So a really good pick there by Ant. It's starting to get late early on defensemen for me, so I might be forced to, maybe reach a little bit here. Jack Hughes is still on the board. I'm going to go that, and I'll just wait a little bit longer on a defenseman. I don't think really an explanation is needed to take who's going to drive the Devils' offense there. Third pick in round 6. I don't know if he's going to be there in a lot of drafts that late, so I got to take him.
Oh, you guys know where we're at. All right, it's that point of the year. We're going to lock up the most important position in fantasy hockey. Goalies are voodoo. So I will start with Igor Shesterkin, right? We don't need to reaffirmate why.
We had him as our top-ranked goalie earlier.
Right, and I'm going to take my second-ranked goalie right there. Look at that. Jake Onger, welcome in. I'm set. I don't have to worry about goaltending anymore. Thanks.
You're going to win the goaltending categories many weeks, pretty much every week. So there you go. Now I'm back on the clock here. I could go with a defenseman here. There's no real foe. I mean, Connor Bedard's pretty tempting here in round 4. Yeah, screw it. I hate think he'll have a better year this year after his rookie year. I'm going heavy forward. This is not a strategy I usually employ. Nonetheless, here we are, and that's how you learn. That's how you get an idea of where guys go. It's a mock draft. Do things you don't normally do. Get outside your comfort zone. I usually do not go 4 forwards in this format this early, but here I am. So there we go. And then we got Connor Bedard after me. It was Frank Vetrano and Chris Kreider. I don't know about the Vetrano pick, but Chris Kreider, he's still on the Rangers' top line, playing with Mika. He's going to get his production, even though they go cold in the playoffs. So they're going to be there in the regular season. There goes Mitch Marner.
Makes sense.
I got to take that same strategy as Chris here. I got to shore up the goaltending. I'm going to go with UC Saros here.
He gets Saros, then goes Tavares and Eichel. Anthony's back on the clock here. I don't know what I'm going to do with goaltenders here. I mean, there's still some quality ones on the board, but again, getting late early.
Again, this guy falls to me in the 4th round. I cannot not take White Johnston.
That is your guy this year. And now I know if we're in a league, I got to watch out for you. New York, Steve Lander's back on the clock here. I'm up. There goes a defenseman. That was one guy I was hoping to get. I hope Andy and Vincent aren't watching because, I mean, I'm going to tip my hand here. I don't think I can wait any longer on a defenseman. Yeah, fine. Give me Noah Dobson. I got to take him. I can't wait any longer on defense. Hopefully, I can get the guy who I want on the backswing here. We'll see how that goes. Travis Konechny goes. Nick Suzuki goes after my pick there. Fuzzy Chris 91 back on the clock.
Gonna take a run here. Big boy who can score goals. Who knows what we're getting from the Buffalo Sabres, but I'll take Tage Thompson here. He knows how to score goals, right?
That offense goes as Tage Thompson goes. We saw that early in the season.
I now need a defenseman because I've only taken one. Because I wanted to shore up my goaltending. I'm going to go with Dougie here. I don't know what I'm going to get from him this year, but I have a feeling he's still going to be the quarterback of that top power play unit.
Again, if it was 4 defensemen, maybe I'd wait, but it's 5 defensemen. So you really got to get 2 guys you can really set your watch to. Adam Fox still sitting there. As much as I need to grab goaltending, I feel like I can shore that up a little bit later. So I'm going to take Adam Fox here, get my top 2, get 2 New York defensemen there. Sitting there. Somebody took Joel Eriksson Ek as an auto pick. Can't recommend that. Vinny Trocheck, I would worry about grabbing him in round 5 because as great a season as he had last year, I don't know if he can repeat those numbers this year. I think he can get close to that level. I don't think he will get to that level. A little early to reach there on Trocheck with other quality options on the board. Victor Hedman that goes, and then there Miro Heiskanen goes. So we got a little bit of a run on defensemen. So I'm glad I got the 2 guys I did. I'm happy with Dobson Fox as a top 2 pairing for my defense.
Just for you, State of Survival, there is no maximum on the forward and defense. The maximum player count is only for the goalie. You cannot have more than 4 goalies. You can have as many forwards and defensemen on your bench as you want.
And again, State of Survival. This is at this time of the year. It's tough to find mock hockey platforms. ESPN is not our favorite, but they do offer them every 5 minutes with a bunch of variety. So that's what we use till Yahoo gets going, and maybe a fan tracks I'll have to follow up on.
Thanks for being here, ESPN. We love you.
Yeah, we love you for like 6 weeks a year, and you do pretty good coverage of the NHL. I gotta say, I like Turner Sports in the United States better, but ESPN does it justice. Ilya Sorokin goes in round 7 there, so maybe a goalie I was trying to wait on and sleep on. He gone. So I can't really get him anymore. I'm on the clock in 2 picks. Sebastian Aho is a forward that I was going to take if he was there. The 7th round, that's a steal of a pick, but will not be for me.
Adam, you have a goal yet?
I do not have a goalie, my friend. And there goes Clayton Keller from Utah. Pucking thoughts, that would be me on the clock here. I mean, Andrei Vasilevsky's still sitting there. I know Thatcher Demko is, but I don't want to have to worry about getting the tandem. I'm going to take Vasilevsky in round 7 and get my first goaltender there.
I'm gonna take another defenseman here. I know some people are gonna sleep on him a little bit, but again, I don't know what the Washington Capitals are. I know they're frauds. So John Carlson. I mean, I don't see anybody quarterbacking the top unit. So, and then we know we're gonna go with future 40-goal scorer, Cole Caulfield. Right? We need some goals, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna add another guy who could pop.
Of course, you're gonna grab your guy there. Let's take a look here. Looking at the forwards, defensemen, you know, I kind of want to get my goaltending short up to a degree, you know, and get convince me Thatcher Demko needs to, you know,
Come
be there.
on, let's go.
I'll take a Vasilevsky Demko pairing at goaltender for
That's
sure.
what I'm talking about.
All right, and but I mean that, you know, Swayman's sitting out there. I could have taken Swayman, but I mean, if somebody wants to snipe me, go get Shilovs at some point.
If somebody wants to.
Quality forwards on the board here. I haven't taken a forward in a few rounds. I may have to look at that again. I was going to take Aho, but that got taken from me. You know, I may have to look at a defense here. We'll see what happens. Anthony on the clock here. We are in round 9. About halfway through here. He takes Kevin Fiala. Certainly not a bad pick. Somebody's got to put the puck in the net for the Kings. We had 2 Kings going back to back there. Andrei Kopitar, Kevin Fiala, Owen Tippett. Can put the puck in the net for the Flyers. Maybe a little early in round 8, but don't mind the pick there. Nazem Kadri. Don't know if what Team 1 is doing there. That is not the pick to make, and that certainly helps us out for making better picks. Anthony grabs Erik Karlsson there, and listen, he's going to get his points. I mean, they may not be a good team. Maybe they bounce back, but he is going to get his production on the power play.
As long as he plays well. Don't care what the Penguins do, as long as Karlsson plays well.
Isn't that fantasy hockey? Just hating, not caring what the team. When someone's like, "Oh, who do you want to win?" You're like, "It really doesn't matter. I just need this player to do something."
Correct. There goes Gustav Forsling. Thomas Hertl, love that pick in round 9. Timo, I'm going to double up on Devils here. I got, you know, Hughes. I'll get Timo Meyer there. Sorry, Ant. I'm kind of building your team.
I have no Devils so far. Trying to change my strategy up this year.
I mean, round 9, if Meyer's still sitting there, how do you not take him, you know?
I'm going to go again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to take a defenseman here. Another kid. I don't even know if you can drink it in the United States. Brock Faber.
It's going to have a lot of people are going to jump on him this year.
Someone's got to run the Minnesota power play, whatever it looks like. Then I'm going to go over to New York. Right, Rangers are a good team, good top 6. We saw Lafreniere break out a little bit, maybe to the moon this year. I don't know, but I'll take Alexis Lafreniere, add a little bit more scoring to my offense.
God knows they need it. Let's see here. Jared McCann. Some of this auto pick stuff is just getting out of control at this point. I'm going to go back to the well here. And, you know, there's some good defensemen on the board. But I think Mikhail Sergachev, I'm going to reach on him a little bit. But the fact that he is now the bona fide top defenseman on the Utah Hockey Club, he's going to get that top power play time, going to get a ton of minutes. His production's going to go up. I think he'll stay healthy this year. I'll take him as my 3rd-ranked defenseman. Now, want to just throw out there, I didn't throw this up at the beginning of the show, but remember, when you're looking to take Coyotes this year, they're not going to be at the top in alphabetical order under Arizona. You got to scroll down to Utah. So the cover photo for this week, summer mock number 2, you got the sad Wiley Coyote and the sad real Coyote there out in the desert. No more Arizona hockey to watch. So sorry, fellas.
You really did them dirty there.
I did. I was struggling to come up with ideas, and that was what came to me. All right, so we got after Sergachev, Bo Horvat goes to Vincent Spirited team, and Matthias Ekholm over to the Islanders. The Andy's awesome team, and then Matthew Barzal. You know, if what State of Survival said before, if the Islanders are going to be more of an up-tempo team, Barzal is certainly a guy that could maybe stand to increase his production and maybe get a little value on him. Team 1 back on the clock here to open round 11. He takes Marco Rossi, a young stud for the Wild, expected to take another step this year. Lots of forwards here on the board as Anthony gets Brad Marchand. I mean, as far as old reliable goes, there he is. Lots of good players still on the board here. Lots of good players still.
Chris, I'm taking a chance on Slafkovsky, man. Tell me more about him, man.
You can't because he's taken. So that's
I took him.
Yeah.
Sorry. You did. I mean, Slovak King to the moon, by the way. Homie's gonna break out now. You can see him with confidence. You can see him starting to feel like himself. If he plays on that top line with Suzuki and Caulfield, Suzuki is one of the best puck moving defense forwards in the NHL, in my mind. He has a vision unlike anybody else. He can get it there. If Montreal's power play could figure it out, that'd be swell. That'd be nice. Speaking of power plays and trying to figure out, I don't know what the Carolina Hurricanes are going to do. I don't even know if Marty Necas is going to be part of that team. But it doesn't matter where he is. I believe he's going to score goals. We're going to go with Marty Necas here because we need somebody. And now I took him in our last mock. I still feel comfortable with him as a fifth defenseman. I don't know how Dean Evanson's going to use him, but if he can stay healthy, Zach Werenski, 55, 60 point up, like maybe 60 is stretching, but I mean, taking my chances here.
I think that's a good chance to take.
Now, you took Marty Necas. I took Seth Jarvis, who vaulted into that top 6, and they're going to lean on him heavily. Same strategy there. There's some decent defensemen on the board, so I'm going to wait. Listen, Brock Besser here around the end of round 11. I know he's going to get hurt at some point, but there's a lot. I got to address a lot of forwards in this format. Certainly going to put him out there. Power play time, 40 goals last year. Even if he's only a 30-goal guy this year, I'll take that. So I'll take that in round 12, pick 5, not even round 11. We are in the 13th round here as we move things along. Here in our second mock draft on Total Hockey Now. Please, folks. We love mockey season here. Don't forget, we'll be doing these all summer. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter or Facebook at Total Hockey Now. Anthony back on the clock. He gets Luke Hughes with his first pick. And then let's see what he's going to do here. He's going to run the second power play there in New Jersey for sure. And then Brady Shea. It was a guy I was hoping was going to make it back to me.
New York Steve Landers with the Mitchkov pick.
Got to be a Flyers fan. I think he took Konechny before too, if I'm not mistaken. Leo Carlson. Whoa, a little early for that guy.
All right, now we're cooking.
Now we're leaving quality guys on the board here. Charlie McAvoy still sitting out there. There's no reason I can't take him, and it sounds like I sniped him.
Why do you do that? Well,
I mean, I should have taken him before Sergachev, to be honest. But that's the wacky ESPN rankings. Joel Farabee. What?
Well, you know what? I'm going to take the player that was queued up here anyways. So I'm going to take Pavel Buchnevich because all he does is rack up points. So we're going to do that. I am going to take a little bit of a risk here. Just a tad of a risk here. Again, he did not go to Edmonton to sit on the sidelines. So Jeff Skinner is going to do something. I don't know what it is, but he's going to do something. High risk, high reward.
Let's face it. If it's a format where goals are rewarded, he's going to get them.
If he's playing next to McDavid, I could at least score one goal if I played next to McDavid. I'm not saying I put it in the net. I'm saying it goes off my shin pad and in. And then I proceed to miss the rest of the season with a broken leg. But puck goes in the net.
I just want to point out that I took Macklin Celebrini in the 14th round. I think that's a pretty good place to get him. And William Eklund going right after him. So, a couple of Sharks picks there. Somebody's got to put the puck in the net for San Jose, and that's going to be two of the guys who are going to be relied on doing it. Will Smith, too, is another guy. I don't know if I'm drafting him, but he's definitely a guy that's maybe a late round guy or somebody I'm immediately, putting on my quote-unquote scout team. Jacob Slavin goes there. I still got one forward, one defenseman, a utility, and some bench spots to go. There's still some quality goaltenders out there. If you're looking for a good third goaltender, just going to say, I got a few picks to go before I'm back on the clock, but.
The Steve Landers are trying to figure out how to snipe me next. Oh, not this time. Okay. Perfect.
Take a look at Anthony's team. McDavid, Wyatt Johnston, Sebastian Aho, Kevin Fiala, Yuri Slafkovsky, Brad Marchand, Quinn Hughes, Josh Morrissey, Eric Carlson, Luke Hughes, Brady Shea. That's a good 5 there. He adds Nikolai Ehlers to the mix there. Sam Bennett goes after him, and then Evander Kane. He's got Hellebuck and Saros as well. It's as good a 1-2 punch as you're going to have. Let's see. Anthony back on the clock. Let's take a look at it. And he takes Brandon Hagel, a guy that Chris was big on last week. Looking at Chris's team here with Steve Landers on the clock. Kirill Kaprizov, Tage Thompson, Cole Caulfield, Lafreniere, Natchez, Schnevich, Skinner. He's got his defensemen locked up with Makar, Hamilton, Carlson, Faber, Werenski, and Shesterkin, Ettinger. Yeah, I mean, if Swayman's still sitting out there, I mean, I got to take him as my third goalie. And that's a good enough goalie that if Demko gets hurt, I'm okay with the fact that I still have those 2 as my goalies.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make this one a little bit quicker. I'm going to take Quinn Byfield here. I don't think they're going to play him at center. I think he's still going to get the opportunity to play on the wing. So that helps him out here. I'm really trying to reach here a little bit.
Strong back-to-back auto pick here by Vince Dunn and Mark Scheifele by Team 10. Those are good value picks.
I'm going to take a chance here. Maybe he bounces back a little bit. Jonathan Huberdeau.
Oh, there goes Thomas Harley, Kirill the Thrill Marchenko. I am back on the clock here. I could go forward. I could go defense. I'm just trying to see. I got, Elias Lindholm is there. That is tempting, but I think I'd rather get my 5th defenseman here situated. I panic picked him last week, but I think Morgan Riley's going to get a lot of points in Toronto just playing. So as a 5th defenseman, fine, not a 3rd defenseman. 5th defenseman, I'll take him. Now, hopefully the forward I was looking at is still out there by the time the draft comes back to me. Here we are in round 17. Or about to be in round 17 as round 16 wraps. There goes Bobrovsky. Dylan Collins, Elias Lindholm. So I don't feel bad about not taking Lindholm if the guy after me takes him, because that means I was thinking about him at the right time.
Thank you for taking Morgan Riley on defense and not taking my pick, which will be Sean Dursey from Utah.
I don't want to double up on the Coyotes defenseman there. I'm gonna, I could have, but I don't love to do that at a position where I'm only dressing. I mean, 5's a lot for a defense, but I don't usually like to double up on the same team with defensemen. Just a thing I have. All right, Anthony back on the clock here. And he gets Ryan O'Reilly. He's going to, and for the same reasons I mentioned last week, just a solid pick, top 6 on a really good team. Starting to get late early on these forwards here. There goes Ryan McDonough from the Lightning, Charlie Coyle, Michael Bunting, and I am back on the clock here, and I need to start filling out forwards, and I need to start doing it quickly. Not going to take Valery Nichushkin. Not going to take Joe Pavelski. At this point, we're just looking for production. And hey, Robert Thomas, 26 goals, 60 assists. I'll take 86 points at this point in the draft. Somebody's got to he's going to be centering Pavel Buchnevich on the top line. So, byproduct production.
We're going to go again to, I don't think, players who can drink in the United States yet. We're going to go with Adam Fantilli. I don't know what Dean Evanson's going to do in Columbus, but I'm assuming Fantilli's going to be part of it. I'm also going to take a little bit of a shot here. We're getting to that point where we can start to throw some darts. Dylan Gunther. He's not going to, if he makes the lineup in Utah, he's not playing in the bottom of the lineup. And for all the stuff that went on for him to get there, let's see how that goes.
I got to go forward again here, and I'm going to be honest. I'm buying into the Sean Monahan, Johnny Gaudreau reunion. Good players on bad teams. Round 18, why not? Give me Sean Monahan. He could be my utility, and let him and Gaudreau, whatever points they get, I know I'll have a share of it. There goes Patrick Laine from Columbus. A couple of Columbus players going here. Anthony back on the clock. See what Anthony's got left to fill here. He's got all of his bench spots. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of those has got to be a goalie. We'll see what else he does. It doesn't have to be a goalie, but I would imagine one will be.
Let's go Logan Couture here.
We'll see what happens with him and the Sharks. If they do play him, they're going to try and, maybe trade him if possible. I don't know how tradable he is, but if they do play him, they're going to, let him be the leader of a young team. So he'll be in that top 6. There goes Linus Ullmark in round 19. I mean, listen, not going to get a lot of wins, but he'll get a lot of saves. That's for sure. Anthony back on the clock here as he's trying to make some of his final picks. We wind things down.
Taking a chance here.
Why not? You know, if he's going to be in that playing with McDavid in that top 6 at some point, or maybe even on the power play, why not? And now I'm at pucking thoughts. That means I'm on the clock here. Let's see. Matty Beniers. Somebody's going to have to drive some of that Seattle offense. Round 19, I'll take him. I know I took him last week, but why not? I think late in the late drafts, Matty Beniers is a guy you can target and hopefully get some value out of. We got three rounds to go here. 3 picks to go.
I'm going to take a third goalie. I feel like I'm going to need one. So we're going to take Philip Gustafson. I'm going to do that. And again, we're going to take another bit of a dart here. With Joe Pavelski now out of the picture, someone's got to step into the top 6 in Dallas. And maybe that's Logan Stankoven.
He certainly went in the playoffs last year. He had a bit of a coming out party late in the season as well. So not a bad pick to make. This is the time of the draft where you start throwing, you're taking your shots. And I am back on the clock here. And I took him last week. I'm going to double up on the Blackhawks top line here. Teuvo Teravainen. I don't mind late in drafts. I certainly don't mind that pick. So we got a couple of rounds to go here before we do a quick recap and say farewell on this edition of Total Hockey Now here on Total Hockey Now's YouTube channel. Jonathan Drouin there, don't mind that. He certainly found a comfortable place to produce in Colorado last year, so no reason he can't replicate that. I still need another defenseman here on my bench and a forward here, so let's see what's available. I know who I want. See if he's there by the time it gets back to me. A few picks away. There goes Keandre Miller. Anthony did not snipe me. Thank you. I like that pick. There goes Pierre-Luc Dubois. And why not? Round 21, his last chance. And there goes Craig Anderson, who seems to be taken every week in one of these mock drafts.
Well done, Craig.
Maybe there's something about Craig that the 3 of us aren't aware of. But Shea Theodore, I'm going to grab him. And don't forget, in Mitch Marner trade rumors, Theodore with Vegas, Theodore is a defenseman that was, rumored to be included going back. That doesn't mean anything, but Theodore is going to play well on that Vegas team. So,
I'm going to take a player. I don't want to. Johnny Gaudreau.
Hey, we got each half of the share. Good job. We can celebrate together when we go. There goes Yaroslav Halak, who is, I don't even know if he's in the league.
Jeff Glass. I was really looking forward to Jeff Glass. I'll take another player that I don't really enjoy, but I guess the upside is there, and Jake DeBrusk.
That's a great pick, and I wish I probably would have taken him sooner had I realized that. And here's my last pick of the draft here. I could take Mark Stone. I don't like that he's not healthy a lot. I'm going to take a chance on Trevor Zegras that he gets traded and produces where he goes. Certainly last pick of the draft there. Don't mind that. And then Anthony's got one more pick to make, and then we'll do a quick recap of the teams here before we say adios on this edition of THM. But we'll be back with another mock draft next week. We'll look at another divisions odds next week. We'll do another top 10 ranking as well next week. So we give you a full pod here.
The best thing about this draft right now, and it's not going to last for long, is that the rankings are all out of sorts, which leads me again to Jacob Markstrom with my last pick of the draft.
Damn. I can't believe Anton Hudobin went before him. Well, what are we? What are
Craig Anderson?
Craig Anderson, Danny Taylor.
Let's do a little screen share recap of our teams here. I'm up on the screen. May as well just run through mine. Mikko Rantanen, know he's going to produce in that top line in Colorado. Crosby in the second round, nothing wrong there. Jack Hughes in the third round, absolutely will take that. Bedard in the fourth round for sure. Maybe waited a little long to get defenseman, but hey, I got a Norris finalist there. I got a previous Norris winner right there and back-to-back picks. So I think I did a good job shoring up my blue line and addressing it and making sure I got a couple of cornerstones. Get my goaltending taken care of with back-to-back picks there. I do love to do that. Just make sure that way I don't have to think about it for a little while. 2 top 10 goalies in our rankings there. Timo Meier, he's going to have a better year this year because he's not going to be playing on 2 hurt legs. Sergachev is my third defenseman, even though McAvoy was sitting there. I probably should have taken him and swap those 2 picks probably would make sense. Jarvis, I'm hoping, has an increased production in Carolina. We know what you're getting out of Besser. Swayman, that leads a steal. He's not going to be there in actual drafts. Celebrini, got to take him there, 14th round. And then, yeah, we're just looking at the back end of the roster here. We talked about these guys recently as we picked them. I don't mind any of those guys late in the draft. I'm happier with my draft this week than I was last week. So very happy with that team.
Yeah, that's okay. I can live with that. I guess I will run through mine here. Let me pick.
I really like your
one.
top 5 there. That's a good top 5 picks right there.
All right. So now Chris is going to take his turn at the stage.
Look at this beautiful team here. Kirill Kaprizov, you need goals, right? And then Kale McCarr, Old Faithful. Igor Sturkin, Jake Onger, nothing wrong with taking goalies early. Tage Thompson, Dougie, John Carlson, obviously Cole Caulfield, right? Brock Faber, Alexi Lafreniere. Let's see if he can if he can stick in that top line from the New York Rangers. It's good. Martin Natchez, we'll see you somewhere. Zach Werenski, Pavel Buchnevich. I feel like he gets forgotten, but he's good. Jeff Skinner, upside here. Quentin Byfield, same thing. Maybe he can build off another good season. Jonathan Huberdeau, anything better than last year is good. Adam Fantilli, Dylan Gunther, young players. Bad. Columbus is a bad hockey team. We'll find out what Utah is. Philip Gustafson, your third goalie. Logan Stankoven, that's the player I think he's going to get a little bit forgotten. We'll find out where he's going to fit in that lineup. He was doing pretty good stuff in a small sample size last season. Let's see how it works. Johnny Gaudreau, hate him. And then Jake DeBrusk. I don't know if there's enough power play time for him, but he's definitely got a spot in Vancouver's top 6. So,
love that pick. Wish I had grabbed it.
All right. Let's share here.
And we're going to take a look at Anthony's team. And I think he had a pretty good draft there as well. Let's take a. Listen, McDavid with the 2nd overall pick, no brainer.
Yeah, I feel like I have the top 3 players at each position right here with Connor McDavid, Hellebuck, and Quinn Hughes. I know it's debatable. I know people will debate it, but at least I feel like that way. UC Saros as my 2nd goalie, had to go early and get double goalies. I always love Wyatt Johnston, so I feel like getting him in that 4th round is a nice little spot for him. Josh Morrissey, Aho, Kevin Fiala, finally glad to have him back on my team. Eric Carlson and Brad Marchand. You know what you're getting with those 2 guys. Got the youth in Slavkovsky and Hughes. Got Brady Sage, Nikolai Ehlers, Hagel, Sean Dursey, O'Reilly. I guess I'm taking a kind of a chance on Couture, like you mentioned earlier. We'll see what happens with him down in San Jose. Khrushchev also taking a chance on Fowler, Miller, and the rankings brought me Jacob Markstrom. That's what I'll say.
For sure. I'll say this about Fowler. He's a guy that's usually out there on waiver wires, but if you play dressing 5 defensemen in a format, he's going to get power play time. Listen, he's nothing sexy or flashy, but you know what you're going to get. You get the same numbers out of him every year, and it's reliable. So love that Fowler pick there late to kind of fill out your defenseman. Now, listen, hit us up with your we're going to post, we're doing this every week. Right? We enjoy this. We'll have different. We try to change up the formats a little bit. Maybe a week we'll do a best ball one, or we'll do like an 8 team. But we try to mix it up a little bit and have some fun.